that we can stay on task. Click out of those tabs because I know that it's very distracting. I have the AI Maverick Challenge. So whoever is most active in the chat is going to get something really special. So this is going to be really interactive. And then feel free to drop questions in the chat and then I will get to them. If it's on topic right then I will answer. But if not, then I might wait to the end. And just have fun or fake it. So here we go. So with the nonprofits I work with, I have found that streamlining the communications, engaging donors, and increasing support comes with 3 game-changing secrets. So the first one is strategy beats hustle every day of the week. And so that's where the 5-part storytelling blueprint comes in. And we'll go over that more in detail. Clarity is king. And I'm going to share the epic framework that I've created. And then now AI is your secret weapon so that you can apply those frameworks to AI to save time. So there was a light bulb moment in my life, and I have a 3-minute video that'll share a little bit about how I got into storytelling. And so hopefully you can hear that.
5 years, 3 degrees.
Why is that not playing?
I could hear it after a second.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It takes a minute.
5 years, 3 degrees, including an MBA, earned entirely debt-free with $52,000 in scholarships and grants. My secret? Storytelling. That achievement was born out of chaos. My 14-year marriage ended when I discovered my ex-husband's multiple affairs. The life I knew, traveling the world with my high school sweetheart and our 2 sons, was gone. Overnight, I became a single mom, struggling just to survive. For years, my life revolved around being a wife and mother. I even put my dreams of college on hold to build a family. Now, at 31, I had no work experience, no degree, and no plan, sitting in a cracked vinyl chair at the social services office. The picture-perfect, carefully curated life was drowned out by the sounds of fluorescent lights buzzing and toddlers crying. I couldn't control what had happened, but I could control what came next. Education became my lifeline. Night after night, I worked on scholarship applications, juggled odd jobs, and raced between my son's soccer practices. Every essay and scholarship application became a step toward rebuilding my life. That's why I was thrilled to receive a call from a Women's Leadership Foundation. They invited me to interview for their first endowed scholarship. But that interview was 8 hours away in person, and I had no PTO left at my $15 an hour job. My new boss was already frustrated with my absences for court dates and doctor visits and wouldn't be sympathetic. I couldn't afford to lose my job, but I also couldn't miss this opportunity. I arrived at the interview with a 3-ring binder packed with stories. Sitting before 5 women with kind eyes, I unveiled the journey that had brought me there. Relying on food stamps and Medicaid since my low-wage job barely covered the essentials. Babysitting and selling items on eBay just to keep food on the table. Navigating my son's repeated concussion appointments, enduring surgeries and health struggles that left me at a frail 93 pounds, and the exhaustion that had me bedridden on weekends just to recharge. I didn't just recount these hardships. I brought them into my world and into the vision of the future I was determined to create for myself and my sons. Despite their grins, a week of waiting overwhelmed me, thinking, was it enough? Was I enough? I got my answer. I won the scholarship. That $5,000 per year supplemented my college funding, supporting my tuition alongside other grants and scholarships that made my education possible. It also unlocked opportunities that shaped my journey, including speaking frequently at women's leadership events, representing 400 other scholarship recipients as a speaker for the university's Office for Philanthropy, and receiving personal support from the university's provost, who created a hybrid online format just so that it could allow me to complete my MBA. All of this reignited my hope and sense of purpose, fueling my passion for leadership and impact. That one opportunity became a domino effect, leading to open doors that changed my future, all because I shared my story. You are just one story away from unlocking opportunities you never knew existed. Your setbacks can become stepping stones if you're willing to share your story. When you're ready to craft a story that inspires and creates lasting impact, I'd love to help.
So that is why I'm so passionate about storytelling. That opportunity changed my life. And so from then on is where I learned to create this framework that I had been using, but I wasn't able to really help others learn it and be able to repeat it. But now it's much easier. So I earned $52,000 in grants, and it relates to storytelling. So I hope that some of these tips will help your nonprofit raise more. So what I've earned and learned, just a little bit about me. I am a StoryBrand certified guide. I've won Best Website 2 years in a row for the Home Builders Association and some other marketing awards. And I'm just very passionate, especially about the nonprofit side, because I've worn all the hats. I know that what y'all do is very challenging, especially in today's atmosphere. So I have a lot of respect for you. So I want you to think about the ROI of your stories. What is that return on investment? So how much revenue and engagement and support does it generate? And if you were pitching your story to investors instead of donors, how would you measure that value? Companies, businesses track ROI on every marketing campaign. And so I want to know, are you tracking the ROI of your stories? So if not, how do you know if it's working? So 3 tips to improve your story ROI is to remember that people don't just support causes, they support people. So focus on individual impact stories, not just your nonprofit's mission statement. Facts inform, but stories move people to act. So pair your stats with narratives that bring them to life. And the third tip is the right story unlocks opportunities you never knew existed. So don't think of storytelling as a nice to have. Make it your most powerful tool for growth and sustainability. Your nonprofit's impact is so important, and don't overlook it. So if you're not telling your story effectively, you're missing out on those opportunities that can really transform your organization. Okay, so I get a lot of direct mail from nonprofits and, of course, email. And so I wanted to share one with you that I could definitely tweak. And so hopefully it'll give you some ideas. So I'm just making fun a little bit when bad storytelling happens to good nonprofits, but you can fix it in 60 seconds. So how to confuse, bore, and lose donors in 10 seconds or less. So keep in mind that you have just a few seconds to hook them and grab their attention and engage them into whatever marketing material you're looking at. So you really got to be engaging at first. So the first one that I want to show you is the before. This is a nonprofit that I've been working with, and they're so sweet. I love them. But you can see that, like, the bullet points and all of the stats. And, sometimes when our brain sees so many numbers and letters and everything mixed together, it's just really hard to process it. And so when you have more of that cognitive dissonance, you don't actually internalize the information. So what I did is I took a picture of this piece of paper and I put it into my chat app, and I told it to rewrite it in my EPIC framework, which is engage with a hook, persuade with a story, inspire with call to action, and close with a PS. And it took that same exact information and infused the story that I already had with it. And so you have here now, it invites you in. So it's, dear friend, Ethan's story began with heartbreak, but ended in hope. For years, Ethan struggled with addiction, losing not only his stability, but also his connection with people who mattered most. When he arrived, he was looking for more than just a place to sleep. He was searching for a chance to rebuild his life. So really think about trying to engage your audience at the very beginning, and then towards the end, blend in some of those statistics. So that's just one that I've noticed. And we get a lot of mail, and there's a lot of stats and facts, but unless you can connect it emotionally to a human, it's just really hard to engage the audience and share that importance or the urgency. Okay, so the secret number one, strategy beats hustle. So I'll share with you the 5-part storytelling blueprint. The core elements are you need to start with a relatable character. It could be a donor, a volunteer, one of your beneficiaries, somebody in the community that's doing some really great things. You also want to share genuine emotion. So what is that person feeling and what are they going through? That kind of thing. The third one is a moment in time. If you can zoom in on that exact moment that transformation happened, it brings and invites that reader into that moment. And so that's super important. A lot of times that's forgotten. Specific details, as many as you can put in and fuse in, that is super important too. And then, of course, lastly, but most importantly, we've got to have that clear call to action. I think every story should have a call to action, whether it's, be encouraged or donate now, something like that. So that is the 5-part storytelling blueprint. So anytime you craft a story, just if you have those 5 pieces in there, it's going to be much more engaging and impactful. So stories are powerful tools to connect with your audience. They build deeper connections and they inspire engagement, demonstrating those tangible impact of contributions, and ultimately it amplifies your reach and sustains support. So you can identify those compelling stories and craft the narrative which amplifies your message, encourage engagement and measured impact, and then just continue to perfect your strategy. So just continue to refine. Sometimes I like to do A/B testing, maybe like with a subject line or something like that. But don't be afraid to test some things out so it works. So you can create a personalized storytelling strategy that not only clarifies your message, but drives that impactful engagement and action, and then integrate that approach to leverage those compelling narratives so that they can deeply resonate with your audience. So, are you struggling? Tell me, you can put in the chat a little bit. Do you feel overwhelmed by the constant demands of content creation? Are you stuck trying to make your messaging stand out and you've tried everything, but nothing seems to deliver consistent results? So, on a scale from 1 to 5, how overwhelmed do you feel when it comes to content creation? So, you can put it in the chat, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, a number 1 would be like, no problem, I got this. But number 5 would be like, I'd rather file my taxes by hand while blindfolded than create more content. So, put something in the chat and let me know what you're feeling. Okay, good. Oh, you saw, oh, hey, Ben, I see that. Shanika. Very good. 3, yeah, 3 to 4. Joyce, you are my gal. Good. Yeah. So for the most part, we're kind of in the middle there, mostly 3s, I think probably would be the average. So that's good. Thank you so much for letting me know kind of where you're at. That's very helpful. And I hope to give you some tips that'll make it easier for you. All right. So what if there was a better way? I know so many times that nonprofits have to do more with less, and sometimes it's frustrating because you don't have the budget or the resources. But what I have found with AI is that you can scale so much easier and create content that you can repurpose. And so the only way to simplify marketing and to save time and drive revenue efficiently is truly by integrating AI into your strategy and content creation. I had the opportunity to meet Michaela Salinas at a workshop that I did in Greenville, and we helped her create a one-liner. And if you think about it, your one-liner can be your elevator pitch, but I have a specific part of how to create a one-liner. You need to start with the problem, and then you provide the solution. And then the third part is what is the outcome? What's the benefit that recipient or donor or volunteer would receive? So we helped her create her one-liner. She is the director of development at the American Heart Association. So she said cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death. But change starts within our community. So number one, that's the problem. The second part is the Upstate Heart Walk is dedicated to turning bystanders into lifesavers by ensuring every participant learns hands-only CPR. So that's the solution. The third part is empowering our community to save lives in cardiac emergencies. And so in my demo, I will show you how to create your own one-liner. Okay, so the next framework that I have found to be really, really helpful is the EPIC framework. So engage with a hook, persuade with a story, inspire with a call to action, and close with a PS. And so clarity is king. How to craft those messages that captivate your audience and use those proven frameworks like EPIC communications. And the results are to have clear, compelling messaging that drives engagement. So when your message is clear, people listen, engage, and take action. So let's talk about that EPIC framework. So like I said, we're going to engage with a hook. So you're going to captivate your audience with a compelling opening, kind of back to that story that I shared. Instead of all the facts and figures, make sure you can hook them with a really great opening. And then immediately go to that story because that builds trust with a relatable story and connects emotionally. The third part, inspire with a call to action, is to present a clear call to action that motivates immediate response. And then finally, close with confidence. Does anybody know why we would want to add a PS? We actually read sometimes from the bottom up. And so if we don't read the whole entire message, we're going to maybe focus on that PS. It's kind of like sums it up and it's very concise. So I always have a PS on my email marketing, even my social media posts, my emails. So just think about ways that you can pop in one last message. Okay, so I know there's a lot of talk right now about AI and it's like, how do you use it and what should I do with it? So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of that. So you've got to give it context, clearly explain what you need and who it's for. So an example would be rewrite the following nonprofit messaging to focus on a campaign to attract donors. Ask for specific details. Guide AI by requesting structure, tone, or examples. And you could say, make it inspiring, action-driven, or donor-centric. And then let AI ask you questions. Have AI gather details before generating the content. So an example would be, ask me 3 questions, one at a time, to help rewrite this message into a donor-focused, emotionally compelling statement that inspires giving. And so just think about AI as kind of like your thought leader. You create the content, but allow AI to curate the content so that it's clear and concise. And then finally, combine and refine, merge responses, tweak the language, and ensure authenticity. I know that it takes time for AI to get to know your writing style. Man, I tell you, it has been just a complete life changer for me. Okay, so another question here you can put in the chat. If you could cut your content creation time in half, how would you spend those extra hours? Would you have more donor engagement, maybe more grant writing, time to connect with your volunteers, or a well-earned break to recharge your passion for the mission? A well-earned break. There you go, Brian. I'm with you. Definitely more, yeah, donor engagement. Yep. Donor engagement, grant writing. Very cool. Yes. Yeah. Donor engagement. Yep. See, that is so powerful. So if we can help you scale your content marketing, then we can focus on other areas of importance. Yes, Renee, more time with volunteers and donors. Love that. Okay. Secret number 3, AI is now your secret weapon. So it's not replacing marketing or marketers, it's empowering them. One question I get is AI going to take my job? It's like, no, it's actually given me work. It's allowed me to scale more. And so it's actually been a really positive thing on my business. So in how organizations can leverage AI for content creation, storytelling, email campaigns, social media posts, blogs, and more. And it's also very strategic. You can actually develop a campaign strategy with it. It's not just for content. Okay, I'm going to show you a demo in action. So I use ChatGPT, and I had the opportunity, thanks to Sandy Merkel, I got to interview Dr. Marion Platt from the Star Gospel Mission in Charleston, and it was just an incredible experience. I love writing impact stories on nonprofit leaders or their mission or their organization. So I went down there for a 45-minute interview. It turned into 3.5 hours. And thankfully, I had my trusty Otter AI app. So I did not take notes. I refuse to take notes anymore because I can focus on that person and not be distracted. So I'm going to show you how I took a 30,000 word transcript, which is 60 pages of documents, 60 pages of raw content. I organized it into categories. It's going to be a published article in the Stroll magazine. I created a 4-part email sequence, 3 blog posts, 2 social media posts, and a really great one-liner. So I did this all within minutes, and so it's kind of exciting. Okay, so the where I started was with this 30,000 raw data, and it was just incredibly overwhelming, honestly. You can see it's 3.5 hours. And it just goes on and on and on. This is the summary, but the transcript alone was just, it was huge. So I put that into chat and it was so much like it actually crashed chat. So I had to put it in 3 sections. And then I told chat, I said, organize this into categories of the topics that we discussed. So in a matter of a minute, it said, okay, we've got all of these categories here. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger so you can see. So it told me when it was founded, programs and the phases that we discussed, planned women's and children's program. This is the capital campaign that they're going through right now. Talked about their partnerships and what they really like to focus on. Dr. Marion Platt has an incredible personal story, and it got all of this detail. His leadership style. I wanted to know some of his key quotes so that I could include that, success stories, call to action, facilities and campus details, operational highlights. And it just went on and on and on with all of this detail. It was so incredible. So then I copied and pasted this into AI, to chat, and I said, okay, create a story that I can be able to publish. And so this is what it came up with. Again, this all happened within minutes. So it has the title, and it's sharing a little bit about it's getting you hooked into that story. And again, I use the epic framework. I'll show you how to do that. But air was heavy with Charleston's human embrace as Dr. Marion Platt stood on the steps of Star Gospel Mission, a place that has been a quiet lifeline for over 120 years. For him, this wasn't just an organization, it was the fulfillment of a dream planted in his heart as a child, a dream born from pain, hope, and an unshakable belief in redemption. So it goes on to share his personal story and the mission and the legacy of the transformation. It was founded in 1904. We talk about one of the guests, they call them guests, and I've changed the name for privacy purposes. Talks about the future, the Brighter Together campaign that they're bringing women and children back into the facilities, and of course, the call to action. So you can see the epic framework here. You have engage with a hook. You have the persuade with a story. And then you have the I is inspire with a call to action. And then if I were to create an email, which I'll show you, that would close with a PS. So it's just really exciting. And so now I'm going to go into chat now and say, create a 4-part email sequence using the soap opera sequence. That is a sequence I'll share with you in just a minute. And then I'll say, use epic, which is hook, story, offer, PS, and I want subject lines, preview text, and headlines for each email. Okay, so I'm going to copy and I pasted all of that in there. And it's just going to take a second for it to give you 4 emails in just probably under a minute. But the really cool thing about a soap opera sequence is if you have a really long huge piece of material or content, you know that it's going to not probably be opened or read. But if you break it down into small little pieces, it makes it not only extend the life of that content, but it also makes it more captivating. So, email 1, the moment that changed everything, the subject, the man who wrote under the bridge, the preview, a young boy, a homeless man, and a moment that changed everything. And so, here is the epic hook. And again, it just took Dr. Marion Platt's information and his story and infused it in there. A little bit more of the story here. And then the offer is the Brighter Together campaign is building a future where transformation isn't just possible, it's inevitable. And so then there's a PS. What if you could be the reason someone finds home again? In the next email, I'll introduce you to Ethan, a man who walked through our doors, lost and walked out whole. Stay tuned. So the whole point of the soap opera sequence is to leave just a little bit of a hint of curiosity so that they want to open the next one. So here again is your complete email 2, 3, and 4. So how cool is that? Is anybody excited about that? Like, it would just be so neat to be able to create really interesting content that engages your audience just within minutes. So now I'm going to say create 3 blog posts. And again, it's going to immediately work its way thing. Yes, way cool. I love that. Awesome tool. Yeah. So there we go again. Blog post 1, it's giving us the title, it's giving the introduction and everything that we need. And after this, I will ask it to create 2 social media posts, which would have hashtags in it. And so again, it's just saving you so much time and you're able to continue to repurpose that content. Create social media posts with hashtags. And thankfully, chat can fix my spelling. It knows what I'm trying to say. And while that's still going, I have made custom GPTs over here. And it's not coding. Like I said, I am not a technical person. I'm really surprised I'm even into AI. But you can actually create a custom GPT. So if you have your employee surveys coming up, you can infuse all of that raw content into a template and it will just pop it out for you. All right, let's see. All right, so here's blog post 1, 2, and 3. The power of redemption, from homelessness to hope, why Brighter Together is more than a campaign. And so again, it's putting this into that epic framework. So it's the engage with a hook, persuade with a story, inspire with a call to action, and then close with a PS. All right, so now I want it to create 2 social media posts and give me the hashtags. So then I don't have to go and look them up. So here again, it is creating all of this for me, and I just can copy and paste that into any kind of my social media content. Okay, now, so we have taken 30,000 words and we're going to get it down to a one-liner. So I'm going to show you a little bit how the one-liner works. So if I have a 3-part one-liner, I'm ready to clarify the message. Okay, so I want to take the story of Star Gospel Mission and create a 3-part one-liner. It should do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it says the problem. Many men in crisis struggle with homelessness, unemployment, lack of hope. The solution, Star Gospel Mission, provides safe shelter, job support, and spiritual encouragement to help them rebuild their lives. The success is that men regain stability, find meaningful work, and restore the dignity for a brighter future. And then I just say, put it all together and it will make it flow. Okay, so there we go again. We still have the structure of many men in crisis struggle with homelessness, unemployment, lack of hope. That's the problem. The solution is Star Gospel Mission provides safe shelter, job support, and spiritual encouragement to help them rebuild their lives. And as a result of that, the benefit or the outcome is that they regain stability, find meaningful work, and restore their dignity for a brighter future. Oh yes, zoom in. There. Is that better? Any thoughts? on how AI took that massive amount of content and literally in just a few minutes we could create. So we had an article, we had the 3 blog posts, 4 emails, 2 social media posts, and 1 really cool one-liner, all from that. So yeah, very cool. Looks way too easy, I know, Renee. That's the great part about it. I love efficiency. So anyways, yeah, it's super cool. All right, so let me get back to my Canva doc. Okay. So, I mean, like, how long would that take somebody? Tell me, type your answer in the chat. If you had to do that, like I said, 30,000 words is 60 pages of document. Think about how many times you would have to refine, refine, refine. How long would that take you? Multiple days. Yes, Sydney. Yep, it sure would. It would take me probably a couple weeks of going back to it. Yeah, several days. Yep. Okay, so how AI has transformed my business. Linda Pray. So remember we had that snow day a couple months ago? Well, the FedEx driver decided to take the risk and drive into my driveway. And I had a headache. I was getting ready to lay down for a nap. And I hear this beep, 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 followed by a vroom, vroom, vroom. And I'm like, oh no, I think I know what's happening. So I rush out there. And thankfully, I had a big stack of rocks that prevented him from rolling into my house. But the cool thing about the Epic framework is that I just like dumped all of that information into chat. And I said, write this story in the framework. And so what it gave me was pretty incredible because I don't know if any of you read my emails or if you get my emails, but the open rate. So I have an airplane. I always put an emoji there because it helps people go back to that email faster and to identify it in your list of all of those emails that we get. Anybody play whack-a-mole with email all day? It's like it never ends. So anyway, so how a FedEx driver, snow, and a hug taught me a lesson. So I sent out a total of 1,466 emails, and the engagement rate was 70% open rate. The click-through rate was almost 50%. And so I use that Epic framework. I had AI craft the subject line because obviously that's kind of the hook. You got to get them interested. So encourage you to try it. I had been working with the Association for Christian Fundraising, and they used the Epic framework in one of their event emails, and it was just really cool. They got some really great feedback. So. Okay, so I want to tell you about the 3 AI tools that I cannot live without. They really have just absolutely been life-changing. And so I will also share these links with you. I've got a couple where you can get a free month. So anyway, so Otter AI is so great for in-person meetings. So every in-person meeting that I have is I record it. I don't take notes anymore. And so it will actually, it's great for board meeting minutes. And you can actually decipher between multiple people. Like you can go back and say, this was speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3, and name them. And then it'll give you the summary. And so the next one I use is Fathom Note Taker. That automatically comes up every time I have a virtual meeting. And what's cool about it is that you can effortlessly write that follow-up email based on the summary. So literally it will just, give you all of the action things that you need to do. And then of course, ChatGPT. And I choose the $20 a month version because it will remember all of my inputs and outputs. So it takes time for AI to get to learn your style. But once it does, man, it's a huge time saver. This was another really neat experience. Somebody came to me, he was trying to figure out how to decide what kind of job or what kind of ministry or nonprofit he wanted to start. And I said, well, let's just ask AI to ask us questions. And so within a few minutes, it was just super cool that, it's not all about content creation or repurposing, but it can be very strategic. So this is a really neat story. Okay, so is it okay if I share an offer with our class? I'm going to, if that's okay, I'm going to share it and then I'll answer all the questions. And so think about any questions you have and I'd love to help. Okay, so Right now, I have a marketing boot camp going on. It's super cool. I have had some really great results. It's hands-on AI training, marketing mastery with proven frameworks, live demos and AI tools in action, free templates for content creation, personalized action plan for your goals, and the school community for the peer support, which is kind of neat. So we have 4 weeks. It's weekly coaching sessions where you get step by step on AI tools. So week 1 is mastering AI for marketing messaging, clarify your message. Week 2 is AI powered content creation. So we learn to create those blog posts, emails, social media content. Week 3 is AI enhanced storytelling and engagement, leveraging AI to craft those compelling narratives. And then week 4 is to automate and to scale that content strategy. So it saves you a lot of time. So you'll be able to get rid of all of that overwhelm from endless content demands, inefficient workflows, unclear messaging that doesn't connect, missed deadlines, and last minute scrambles, BS work and marketing strategies. So the hands-on AI training would probably be about 1,000, storytelling frameworks, about 750, AI demos, 500, personalized strategy. So it's all of that. And I'm offering this at $497. And right now I've got 6 gals in the AI boot camp where we'll be finishing up in a couple weeks. And it has just been life-changing for them. It's been really neat. So the 4 steps or easy steps to transformation. The next boot camp will start on April 15th. And so I'll provide a link. Well, maybe you can put that link in there in the chat. Get your personalized strategic plan, attend 4 one-hour group sessions, and then transform your marketing and master AI to save time. So the deadline to enroll is Friday the 11th. It's not this Friday, it's the 11th. And then I only offer it to 10 people so that I can keep it nice and small. Okay, so we talked about a lot of things, our storytelling frameworks, AI. So you've got choices to make now. So you can do nothing and stay stuck, overwhelmed, and frustrated. You can try to piece it together with AI strategies on your own, or you can join an AI bootcamp and get proven roadmap in just 4 weeks. So think about which option is best for you. I work with the Better Business Bureau. I'm on the Education Foundation board, and Hunter is the president, and he was very skeptical about AI until I did a workshop, and now he and his team are using it and saving a lot of hours every day. So the future belongs to those who innovate, and will you be ahead of the curve or left behind? And so, Belle, if you could also put this link, just click on the link and put that in the chat. I would love your feedback. I always want to improve anything that I'm doing. And so if you can just fill out that form, I will send you all of my slides. And the slides have the links in them, and you'll have everything that you need to go back and look and check out some of the strategies and check out some of the AI. So hopefully you can do that. So anyways, yes. So, and on that, what questions do you have? Do you want to see any demos? What can I do for you to make this transition to learning AI a little bit easier? And feel free to, and if it's okay, Brooke, if it's okay, they can come off mute and just talk a little bit about some of the challenges that y'all feel. Would you say chat is the best tool? Yes, Sydney. So that's a great question. A lot of people get so overwhelmed with like, which one should I start with? I always say start with one, master that, and then move on to the next. So Chat GPT, I think, is just the most wonderful tool. It's very easy, and zoom out of that so I can get over to my chat. So it's strategic, like I was sharing with you. It's very easy to use. It's very easy to make your own custom GPTs. There's no coding involved, and literally like chat can make it for you. You can also make quizzes. I made a quiz the other day. Sometimes I send my in my emails. And so Where is that one? I think it was like, how empathetic of a leader are you? Oh, I made one about the art of shutting up. It's about keeping, kind of just that in mind as if you're a good listener or not. And so this was super easy. Um, Someone's telling you about their crazy weekend. What do you do? A, B, C, D. And so there's like 8 questions in here. And then at the very end, it'll give you what kind of listener you are. So you remember like when we had to create all that in Google Forms and it just took so much time? You can literally ask chat to create it for you. And then you just upload it to the chat configuration, and then you can send it out in a link. You can share it with anybody. So yeah, good question. Writing is small. I don't know how to make that. Let's see. Yeah. What else? What other questions? I can show you several demos or talk about.
Looks like Katie asked, do you work with AI for grant writing?
Yes, yes. So I worked with a great writer. Her name is Julie Starr. And that is, she and I are actually going to be doing a class together on April 23rd. I think it's April 23rd. Yes, at 1 o'clock. And we're going to be talking about storytelling within grant writing and how to use AI to make sure that it's authentic. But she is very much for AI using that into grant writing. She's able to save the organization's information, and then all she just has to do is pull from it, and it will insert it into the template or the form on the website. It is a fantastic way to get those grants done faster and then also more engaging. Okay, yes. What is the composition for the one-liner again? Yes, very good question. And does anybody need a one-liner? I mean, I could walk somebody through a one-liner if you want a new elevator pitch. If you have a hard time putting all of your thoughts into like one little concise statement, the one-liner is you start with the problem, and then you provide a solution, and then you provide the outcome. So those are the 3 parts of the one-liner. So happy to walk anybody through that too. What else? Okay, thanks, Belle. Does anybody know the percentage of ROI that email marketing is? Anybody want to guess what percentage ROI is email marketing? 30%, less than 15. Any more guesses? Those aren't even close. Gotta go up a lot. So according to HubSpot, email marketing has a 40 to 100% ROI, which is the highest and most effective and affordable way for you to market your nonprofit or your mission. So for every dollar you put into email marketing, you're going to get 42 back. Um, you know, yes, yeah, right. Yeah, what that's awesome. Yeah, you can double check me. But it is 40 to 100%. And the challenge that I see is that so few people are doing it. So what my hope is that AI will allow you to scale and repurpose that content so that you can plug in those emails and then, even create a content calendar and just forget about it. You can schedule them to go out and forget about them. So yes, email marketing has a 4,200%. That's very, very high. What else? What other questions do you have? Something that I could show you, what content calendar platform do you like best? So I don't actually have a content calendar platform. However, Rita, what's your website? And I'm just going to show you how quickly that we could scan a website and then create a content calendar literally from the information that I can get from the website.
I'm going to be honest, I'm a horrible example because I work with Clemson. So,
Oh,
so if there's an actual smaller nonprofit that might have
yeah.
a calendar or something that would be
Yeah.
useful, maybe they would be a good example.
Yes. So Spartanburg County Foundation, I have the privilege of working with them, and I used them as an example the other day. So say you have all the content already on your website, or you have the content somewhere. All you have to do is to go to it. And I think I found theirs under, it was like their vision, mission, all that stuff. Oh no, it was about, yeah. Okay, there. So this web page is chock full of tons of information. They've already created it. So what I did is all you gotta do is just copy and paste. And we're gonna go into chat. And are we working on a 3-part one-liner? What are we working on?
I mean, I'd love to see it
Yep.
in this context
Calendar.
too, but we were talking about it from the content calendar.
Yes, yes. Okay. So I'm just going to say create a 30-day. Well, actually, it'll probably be so if you have 30 days. So say like a 15-day content calendar for the month for Spartanburg County Foundation based on this content. Okay, let's see what happens. So like I said, I just copied and pasted some of the information that they had. And then I'll make this a little bit bigger. Okay. Foundation overview engagement. Day 1, welcome post. Introduce Spartanburg County Foundation's mission, vision, and commitment to Spartanburg County. Use a quote from leadership. Day 2 could be what we do Wednesday. Explain how they manage over 1,000 philanthropic funds and supports nonprofits. Throwback Thursday, Fund Friday. Week 2 could be values, innovation, and impact. So you can see how it's already categorizing everything. So it's just absolutely phenomenal. Again, like just think about all the content you already have and then put that into chat and just ask it to do something with it. So that'll save you time. What else? Okay, see Alice, curious about experience with using AI tools when writing about sensitive content, especially for impact stories. Yes, that's a good, even just for proofreading, sometimes the content child abuse can be, yep, against any touch using AI. Yes. So if you go to your profile in chat, and it may be only for the paid version, I'm not sure, but go to the profile, if you go to settings, see, I was just in this yesterday, but there is a piece here. Yes, okay, so if you go to settings and data controls, you can see that it says improve the model for everyone and check it off. So chat will not share this information in order to improve the model. So that is the privacy block for ChatGPT. I don't know, I'm not as familiar with the other ones. Claude AI is another really great tool if you love to write a lot of content. Like I've heard it's very good for book writing just because it can manage a lot. I've tried a few other tools and I just keep coming back to chat. So any other questions about that?
I think somebody put in the chat earlier an example of something, and I don't know if that, Katie, I don't know if that was for the one-liner.
Tell me a little bit more about we want to push ticket sales for an upcoming event. Katie, is that something I can help you with?
Yes, we are just in the process of formulating a communications plan for our ticket sales. And I was just curious if you had a compelling one-liner to drive engagement and promote the ticket sales for our upcoming brunch.
Yes, I love that. And I should have mentioned this before, but that's a great question because you can create a one-liner for anything. So any new campaign that you're doing, you need to create a one-liner if you're talking to donors, and it needs to be different if you're talking to volunteers. So that is such a fantastic question. What is your website?
So our website has actually been down for a
Oh,
week.
no.
It's been terrible because we're
Oh, no.
trying to sell tickets at the same time. We have an Eventbrite page, so
Okay.
I can post that here, but our
Yeah, do
actual
that.
website, Florence Crittenton, is down at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, well, give me maybe the Eventbrite page, and what I'll do is take that data and be able to help create a one-liner faster. And we can always go through the steps as well. But it's so easy to Linda said, what's the name of your nonprofit?
It's Florence Crittenton in South Carolina. Let me just post this really quickly. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know what happened to my
And it's the Legacy of Hope brunch.
okay.
Hold on just 1 second. I'm almost there.
Right, it may come up. Let's see.
And I just put it in the chat if that's easier.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, good, good. Okay, let's see. Oh, sweet. Very sweet. Okay. Vacation time. Okay, this is good. So VIP experience, secure tickets. Okay, so is this all the information right here that you've got so far?
Well, we have an actual sponsorship packet, but for the event page, this is what we have. And then we've sort of crafted a communications plan with, email marketing, social media campaigns, press releases, all of those different
Okay.
channels. But really what I'm looking for is a compelling one-liner just for ticket sales specifically,
Okay.
just to
And
the
then,
general public.
okay. And then right under here, this is a little bit of your mission statement or something like that. So that's really helpful. So I am just copying and pasting all of that content into chat. And I'm just going to say, give me a 3-part one-liner for this event to help sell tickets. Okay, so I've got your mission statement there, and then I've got all of the information, and let's see what it comes up with. Okay, the problem. Too many young women in foster care face uncertain futures without the support they need to thrive. The Legacy of Hope Brunch raises critical funds to provide safe housing, medical care, and education for these young mothers. Your ticket helps create a future where every young woman has the resources to build a healthy, independent life. Secure your seat today. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like that. We sent something similar yesterday, but um, I wasn't sure about secure your seat or the way that we had it originally, but I was
Yeah.
just curious your thoughts on that one-liner.
Yeah, so
I
then
like the being
here,
part of a change. I think that is definitely more inspiring.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, and then at the end, it says join us for an inspiring brunch and be part of the change. Yeah. And then of course it gives you the hashtag. So I will put this into the chat. So you are welcome to use that. Hopefully that'll be helpful for you.
Thanks so much.
You are welcome. I wonder if that went to messaging group chat. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Who else? And so, when you're talking to a donor or a volunteer, or whatnot, you really need to have several one-liners or at least, know how to tweak it so that you're really, oh, thanks, Rita. I'm glad it's helpful. And let me know if y'all have a campaign coming up or need some help with your mission. Something else that I would love to walk you through is called a brand script. And so if anybody wants to look at that and what that is, I can walk somebody through that. Anybody interested? Linda, what is a brand script? Okay, so a brand script is like your brand story. I created this And what I will do is, does anybody want to volunteer their website content or anything? And I can put it in, I can plug it in. No pressure. I can pull up one that I've already made. Let's see, when was the last one I did? I think I did, yeah. So how I start the brand script is I have a type form. Oh, somebody's doorbell's ringing. I have a type form, and so it takes 45 minutes. You answer the questions, and then what's so incredible about chat, actually, I'll show you how to do this. It's so amazing. So I'm going to go to the results, responses. Okay, so this was for gospel mobilization. This was the last one done. So I'm going to just download this into a Excel spreadsheet. And when you look at this, it's going to be like, ooh, it's like just kind of messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste the questions and all of his answers, and you can see how many there are, and they're all obviously condensed. So there's quite a lot. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to go into chat, and I'm going to say, take this content and create a brand script. Okay, and so, oh, that's the other thing I need to show you is how to create graphics and things like that. But you can see all of the content here. So there's all the questions, there's the examples that I gave, there are his answers, that kind of thing. So literally all of this is going to go into a template that is going to be his brand script. So it's kind of like the foundational marketing piece that he can use. And so Story Brand certified, or I'm a story brand guide, so I look at things very differently, but this is another framework. So you start with a character. So for gospel mobilization, pastors and church leaders who want their churches to make an impact around the world for Jesus, mission mobilizers seeking guidance, resources, and training to send more missionaries. The problem, remember, we always want to start with a problem, is three things. So whenever somebody is looking to solve a problem, it's not just one-sided. There's actually three pieces to that problem. There's an external problem, an internal problem, and a philosophical problem. So an example is after 2,000 years, the Great Commission is still unfulfilled with over 7,000 unreached people groups. The internal problem is that church leaders and mobilizers feel unequipped, frustrated, and uncertain about how to effectively send more missionaries. Philosophical problem is, why is this just plain wrong? So the guide is your nonprofit. We always make sure that the hero focus is on the donor or the volunteer or the beneficiary. So the guide is you. So we balance that with empathy and authority by saying, hey, I get it. Trying to access essential resources on your own can be frustrating. However, the authority piece is we've trained hundreds of mobilizers around the world, equipping through professional development. So think about your website. When people go to your website, that's where you really want to have your one-liner so that they immediately know what it is you do, how you help them, and how do they get it. You have 5 seconds. So this is so helpful for a brand script. And then plan. You want to tell somebody that comes to your website, what is the plan for them to get to the next step? So would it be call your nonprofit to schedule a meeting or to schedule a tour, something like that? And then the transformation part is receive personalized guidance for, something like that. Call to action. There's so many websites that don't even have a call to action. Surprisingly, people want to be told what to do. And so it's got to be really clear that you have a direct call to action, which is either donate now or give, buy our ticket sales, whatever. But transitional calls to action are actually really important too. I would call those lead generators. Most nonprofits do not have any kind of a downloadable asset. I think about nonprofits as a business. And so anyways, it's just helpful when somebody comes to the website, maybe they're not quite ready to call or to get involved, but maybe you have an asset that's like, are you considering getting involved with our organization? These are all the benefits, or, this is something, whatever would pertain to somebody that comes to your website. And then they download that asset, which is like their name and their email address, and it's directly hooked to your CRM, and they get put on a drip campaign. So you nurture that lead until they are ready to make a decision. So there's a lot of missed opportunities when people come to a website and you can't track what they're doing or miss that opportunity. So that's kind of my thing on lead generators. And then we want to talk about the failure and the success. Those are the states. Like what happens if that person doesn't get involved? Fewer missionaries are sent, or that mom is going to live in her car with her child, something like that. But you also want to balance it with success, where, you know, like Star Gospel Mission, if you give to our fund, you know, it changes men's lives and it changes families. Transformation is, you know, transformation. So anyways, hopefully, does that explain what the brand script is? And again, if I wanted to say, create the brand script now to focus on donors. So this was the mission brand script. Now, if I say tweak it so that it's actually talking specifically to donors, it has changed it. Donors who want to make a significant impact. The problem is blah, blah, blah. And so again, it's just tweaking it and saving you a lot of time. Okay, Renee, can you go back one step? You copied their website, pasted it in a chat, and then the brand script. Yes, my brand script was pre-programmed. So you can create these custom GPTs. Let me see if I can screen back. Okay. So it's really easy to do it. So you see over here, it says brand script. And I have created all of these custom GPTs. And so again, you can do this very easily. Create a template. Think about all of the repetitive things that you do every single day and figure out a way to make it more efficient. Any other questions? Y'all have been really great and interactive. I appreciate your questions and engagement. It's really hard sometimes trying to teach a web class because you're not getting any feedback. I enjoy doing workshops so that I can read the room, but you all have made it really pleasant and I appreciate that. So you don't have to create a custom GPT, no. All you have to do is just give AI the prompts. And so I could say, so AI knows me a lot. So if I say create a 3-part one-liner, it's going to automatically know. But for you, if you wanted to create a one-liner, all you would have to say is the prompt would be create a 3-part one-liner that starts with the problem, has the solution, and then provides the outcome, and then just put that content in. So you do not have to have a custom GPT to do that. And actually, I don't mind sharing some of these with you. I've made several. And so let's see, a 3-part one-liner. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to share these with you. So all you have to do is just pop them in and it'll help you create those really easily. What other ones would be helpful? I have fundraising campaign. I have uncover hidden growth opportunities in your nonprofit. I have the brand script, uncover. Yeah. So which other ones would be helpful? Anybody want to know how good of a listener you are? Oh, this is a good one. I sent this one out. It's about how empathetic are you as a leader? Epic communication. You know what? I don't have the epic one in there, but I will show you how to do it. So all you would do is say create hook, story, offer, and PS, because that's like the most concise version. I created the acronym just so that it could help people remember and me. And then all you would have to do is just paste that information in there and then it'll pop it out so that it is in that format. Fundraising campaigns. Okay, got it. Go back here. Yeah, the fundraising campaign is really cool because it will walk you through all of the ideas on how to create a fundraising campaign, and it will ask you questions. And I have created the GPT to adjust the next question based on the previous answer. So it's very intuitive. So hopefully that'll help. Anything else I can help you with? Thanks, Sydney. Appreciate that. Well, would you put in the link to, well, actually, maybe I can do it. If anybody wants to book an appointment, I have a free 30-minute call and anyone is welcome to schedule a call. I love to get to know people. And if I can't help you, then I will most certainly point you in the right direction, I promise. But here is my link to a 30-minute call if anybody wants to book one. Oh, thanks, Renee. I appreciate that feedback. Can you show the brand script one? Yes. There we go. There's the brand script. I'll also send this one, uncover opportunities, growth opportunities. That's a good one. That again is walking you through, I don't know, probably 10 questions or so.
Well, thank you, Haley. Thank you so much today. This was so insightful. There are so many different ways you can use AI, and I'm already using it in our daily Marcoms. But just to get to see how other people are using it gives me so many ideas. So this has been great. I'm definitely going to utilize some of these tools. And I think we're right at the end here. Just a reminder to everyone, there'll be a survey that pops up at the end of this call. So please give us your feedback. Let us know what else you want to learn about. And we'll just keep on doing what you guys want to do. And Haley, thank you so much. This was amazing. Thanks so much. This was great.
You're welcome. You are very welcome. Yep. And if you just fill out the survey and I'll have your email address, I can send those slides to you unless, I can get them for both. But yeah, Belle just popped it up. So oh, that's one for the great leaders. But yeah, I'd love to send you any resources or information. So appreciative of your time. Thank you.